I'm getting rid of my Canon C100 MkII for the Zcam E2-S6. Currently, I'm recording on the Canon C100 MkII, so everything that you see in this video is coming straight from this camera. I was going to actually sell this camera last week. I shipped it to Adorama, but I'm going to save that for another time. I'm going to make another video about that whole process and how that went down. But right now, let's focus on why I chose the Zcam E2-S6 over any other camera. Picture quality was one of the main reasons why I chose this camera over any other camera. And if you watch any of my past videos, you know that picture quality isn't one of the main things that I focus on. I look at how to make the best of whatever quality that you're shooting in by adding lights or focusing on composition or any other things that you can do to make the best of whatever camera you're shooting with. Picture quality isn't the end-all be-all, but for the price point of $2,500 at 6K, 10-bit 422, I could not do that. I don't even think that makes sense, but it was hard for me to say no to that. So that's one of the main reasons why I purchased this camera, but I was also looking at the Canon C200 as well. Ben already had the Canon C100. I know going over to the C200 would have been no problem at all. The Canon C200 shoots 4K 10-bit 422, and it's something about that Canon color that sits good with me. I just can't explain it. Even with the C100 right now, the color science behind it is just spot on. It's easy to grade. The footage is easy to work with, so I know that unlocking that next level with the Canon C200 would have came with the same ease, and already kind of know the color science and the color profile behind the camera. That would have made things a lot easier for me, but there were other things that persuaded me to go with the Zcam E2-S6, and we're going to move into that right now. Form factor is another reason why I chose the Zcam over the C200. Straight out of the box, you have this small little cube that you could rig up and make it to be anything that you want it to be. The C200, on the other hand, is a much larger camera, and it comes with a specific set of accessories that you can get for the camera that is kind of like how the C100 is. It has a side grip and the top handle, and it's things I don't see too many accessories for the C200 that you can actually customize it as much as you can with the Zcam. Now with the Zcam, you have all types of rigs and accessories that you can add on to it, just with the small rig cage that you can buy for it. So that was another reason why I chose Zcam. And also, I do a lot of shooting on the DJI Ronin M, and I could tell you right now, shooting with the C100 on that thing was a hassle. It had the viewfinder that will always bump into the top of the handle of the DJI Ronin. Also, just the actual form of the C100. I can't really show you guys because I'm filming with it right now, but it kind of has this oval shape to it, and it's just kind of hard to really balance on the DJI Ronin. But with this, I know I could easily just slap it on there, put the lens on, and I'll be ready to go. So yeah, that was definitely one of the deciding factors for me, just being able to rig this out, and the number of accessories that they have for this thing, and also the use on the DJI Ronin now. Another reason why I switched over to the Zcam was because of the low light performance and the high frame rates. So I shoot a lot of run and gun style videos, and I don't always have the opportunity to set up my ideal lighting and make it as grand as I want to. And to know that I have good low light performance will really put my mind at ease with that. Now, this isn't an excuse to be lazy and not take the proper precautions and light your scene correctly, but just knowing the style of video that I shoot and the environments that I'm in the documentary style and music video, that there are going to be situations where I don't have time to really set up the ideal lighting. So having that good low light performance is really going to put my mind at ease, knowing that I could get a sharp, clear image that comes straight from the camera without doing any noise reduction and losing out on sharpness or anything like that. So that was really a selling factor for me. Also, the high frame rates. This is just for my personal use. It's nothing wrong with 60 frames per second. I've been shooting at 60 frames per second since I've been shooting videography. So the frame rates is just more so for my own personal taste. Like, I always wanted to know what it felt like shooting at 120 frames per second and just getting that buttery smooth slow motion. Like, I never had the ability to do that. I always was capped off at 60 frames per second with all of my video cameras. So just having that flexibility at 120 frames per second at 1080p and also having 100 frames per second at 4K is just going to make for some fun while I'm out there shooting and just getting some cool shots that I wasn't able to get before. So I know I'm going to have fun with that. Now that I covered most of the reasons why I chose the Zcam, I want to be fair and talk about some of the things that I didn't like about the Zcam and why I almost went with the Canon C200. Now, one of the main things was the autofocus. Coming from the Canon C100, and like I said, I shoot a lot of running gun style videos, the autofocus is so important to me. Just being able to whip out the camera, put the lens on, and throw it in autofocus and know that 90% of the time I'm going to be capturing the right thing. You know, Canon just does a real good job at focusing on autofocus, using dual pixel autofocus and things of that nature to really make autofocus accurate and convenient. And not being able to have that is really going to get to me, but it's also going to make me more intentional about the shots that I'm selecting. Another thing that didn't sit well with me with the Zcam is the actual menus. Coming from Canon, they spent years and years on developing user-friendly cameras for the consumers, and Zcam is a fairly new company and they're still figuring things out. So I know that this was probably one thing that they didn't spend a lot of time on. Also, the built-in ND filters on the Canon's C100. I think the C200 have them as well. Yeah, they do. I'm going to miss that. They do have accessories that you can buy for the Zcam. I know it's not going to be great as the Canon line of cameras because you actually have a clear stop of ND with the Canon, and I saw that with the Zcam you don't have that clear stop. I know once you put that ND in there, it's already applying that filter to all of your footage. So in order to not shoot with it, you will have to constantly take it out, put it in. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that works out. And the last thing that, well, this isn't really a knock to Zcam because this has nothing to do with them. But the last reason why I almost chose the C200 over the Zcam was because of my long history with Canon. And anybody that knows me, I think that I'm a pretty loyal person, you know. So that almost didn't sit right with me buying another camera. But honestly, Zcam had everything I was looking for. It was like the clear-cut winner. So I had to go with that. And I come from a long line of Canon cameras. Like, I started with the Rebel T6, and then I moved up to the 80D, and then the C100. Then, yeah, so I definitely wanted to move up to that C200, then eventually the C500. Just take my time working my way up, learning the new factors of each camera, figuring out the nuances of, you know, moving up. I know that when I came from the 80D to the C100, I didn't go straight to the C200 because I know the file sizes were much larger and I had to get a new computer and, you know, all that type of stuff. So buying the C100 definitely helped me out a lot because I was able to get an idea of what it's like to have like a flat log profile footage and work with a cinema camera and be able to grade that at a reasonable file size, you know. I did end up upgrading my computer along with that, even though I didn't have to, but I already had in mind that I was going to go up in picture quality, file size, just to create more crispy, like, you know, higher quality things. I just wanted to, you know, get my feet wet, learn all I could learn, and then make that jump. So today was the day that I made that jump, and unfortunately, it was with Zcam instead of Canon. But we're off to a new journey. So thank you guys for watching this video. Subscribe if you're looking for more Zcam footage and more things about Zcam in the future, because I will be posting a lot more on this channel about Zcam. And I still have my Canon C100 until this thing sells. If it don't sell, I'm really thinking about keeping it because this is a great workhorse camera, and I will recommend it to anybody that's thinking about buying a C100. Like, I hope this video didn't deter you from actually going in that direction, because it's a great camera, and it serves its purpose for what it is. So definitely, if you're thinking about getting it, go ahead, pull the trigger on that. If you want something a little more high resolution, and then you want to up your production, then I would still recommend a C200 as well. Just find the camera that fits your needs, and you move forward with that. So thanks again for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.